Homecoming week is well on its way. Plus, the music department hosted a Welsh baritone and opera singer.
And hear from students that perform at the amphitheater every Friday. I'm Kaylin McCaslin.
And I'm Gabby Shelton. Your news starts now.
UTC has announced that the fall 2023 homecoming theme is UTC and beyond. Homecoming week starts September 30th and ends October 7th with plenty of space-themed events in between. The week will come to a close with the UTC football game against Western Carolina Saturday, October 7th at 4 p.m. in Finley Stadium. You will not want to miss out.
Families in Nashville spoke out to lawmakers last month during the special hearing for gun reform. More recent details coming out this past Tuesday of what it was actually like on the Senate floor.
Originally called to discuss the gun restriction, the session instead devolved into debates surrounding the limitation of public access to the Capitol, as well as banning people from holding up signs during the committee hearings. A group of people, including the grieving families from Covenant students, were kicked out from one of these committee hearings for clapping and holding signs of support.
Other parents and community members fled the scene after Republican Representative Chris Todd stated that the shooter, quote, probably would have driven over those kids, end quote, had he not had a gun, suggesting that limiting firearms access would not have the prevented tragedy. The stories shared were met with nothing in return, the Senate only pursuing a few bills brought up from the hearing, neither of which were related to gun restriction.
Another concert happened earlier this week with a bit more class and a deep voice. World-famous Welsh vocalist Jeremy Hugh Williams was hosted at Cadec Recital Hall as part of a program set up by UTC's music department. Jeremy performed a variety of songs, some soulful renditions of popular folk stories in Wales, others powerful performances of work from our very own Jonathan McNair. He was joined by Dr. Jason DeRoy, who played the accompanying piano for most of the set. Our own Dr. Lynn Worcester-Jones played piano for the last 4 songs. Jeremy enjoyed performing the songs at his very first concert for Tennessee and UTC in particular.
I had a tremendous reception, and that's very important for a performer and actually changes the way in which we perform.
Jeremy said he would love to come back to Chattanooga in the future. As you can see, UTC would be more than happy to have him back.
Hello, I am Frankie Bolognani here with the Novec Project, a group of students who go to the amphitheater every Friday around 5 p.m. and perform music. This is Nova Torres, Ben Gilch, and Kayla Myers. If you wouldn't care, please just explain what Novec Project is, how it came together, and any inspiration you have both individually and for the Novec Project.
Well, I mean, to start, it was something that started January last year. I don't know the year for that. It's 2022?
2022.
Yes.
2023. It was this year.
No, it was last. Anyway.
Anyways, we started it last semester, and it was just like a little idea that we had because we lived in West Campus, and everybody loves West Campus and all the thin walls that they have, and especially whenever you combine instruments with that. Yeah, a lot of our neighbors hated us, both above, below, and next to us.
Well, not below. We were on the first floor, so.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so we just decided to take it outside, and through that, Novec Project was birthed.
And what instruments do y'all play for Novec?
So I play bass occasionally.
And I play guitar.
And I'm on the drums.
And is it just you three, or are there other groups of students or individuals that come and perform?
Well, yeah, that's actually our goal with Novec, really, is to bring people together and bring other artists and musicians. So we have a few other musicians that like to jam with us on Fridays, and then every once in a while we'll have a, what are our big, Novec's called?
Yeah, so the breakdown for Novec Project is we have Novec days, which is like our big, like all-out strict schedule, like few band days, and project days, which is like where it's like way more relaxed. You know, anybody's welcome to come up, and if like, we always say this, like if you don't have an instrument, we have instruments. If you do have instruments, please feel free to bring them. It's open. We have no like, it's nothing strict at that point. But one thing I would like to mention is Novec Project is not a band. We are a community and idea, and we want to bring these other bands and give them a place to perform. Like these small people, we want to bring the small people to become big people.
I saw that on your Instagram story. I was just about to mention it.
Yeah.
And do you have any inspiration for starting it, or starting your whatever instruments you play, or etc.?
I mean, really, it's just how we felt it out, you know. Just starting up, getting down there and messing around with the instruments, and it just kind of fell into place from there, you know.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, honestly, I didn't know how to play anything until freshman year, which was like,
Same.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us did.
No.
I mean, we're kind of just like winging it.
yeah.
Awesome. And you said it's in the amphitheater. That's quite a long trek from West Campus. Why did you choose there?
It was honestly the only open spot, and I mean, I had been scoping it out a few days prior to actually going down there, and nobody uses it. It's kind of just been abandoned, and like there's a beautiful little bit of graffiti down there, and like it seems like a really open space that people had forgotten, so just giving it a new life pretty much.
When bands, or I know you're not a band, but other people consider themselves bands, do they usually do originals, covers? Do you usually do originals or covers, or what's the deal with that?
I mean, normally when we get a set band list, they play both originals and covers, but personally, we are mostly originals.
Awesome. What genre, or is it more generalized all throughout?
I think it's definitely generalized.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
nothing too strict or specific either. I mean, our originals last semester were just more for fun, and it was just like we just kind of like Frankenstein songs together,
Exactly.
and then would scream into a mic pretty much, and that was that.
Yep.
That's how most music starts.
Yeah.
Getting to the tail end of it here. If you could go back in time to when you first started Novec at January of this year?
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you do differently, if anything?
Honestly, it's been going pretty perfectly,
Yeah,
I would say.
I can't say that I'd really seriously do anything differently because we never expected to make it this far, honestly. Like last semester, our goal was just like, yeah, let's get all of our friends around, you know, just play music and do whatever. But like, it's grown into like this actual community. And I mean, one thing that we're also trying to do this semester, our goal for this semester actually, is to incorporate artists and not strictly focus on musicians. So like, for our big Novec days, we're wanting to like get different artists, individual artists, to come down for a Novec project and sell for us, or like sell for themselves, I guess.
Yeah.
And like just so that way they can build a reputation too. Because like I said, it's more about a community. It's not like anything strict, anything specific. We want to help everybody out in that
We
sense.
want to bring everyone together and build themselves up.
Yeah.
And at the same time, build our community.
Like you said, turning little people into big people.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Exactly.
And do you have any future plans for Novec outside of the artist or any other projects that you're working on?
I mean, honestly, Novec Project is a beast of its own, really. It's going where
constantly evolving.
yeah, it's going where it wants to. I wouldn't say that. I feel like having too much of a plan is like the evident formula for like failure at that point. Like, I mean, we're very grateful to be where we are at this point because like I said, we had no intentions of being this big, no intentions of being this far. Honestly, whenever you hit us up for an interview, I was like, oh my gosh, that's wild.
we made it.
Yeah, like if you would have told me back in January that we would be doing this right now, I'd be like, you're crazy, you're wild.
We are glad to have you. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the camera?
Yeah. We began in a fairy tale and came to life.
But
Is this life a reality? No, it is a film.
And with that, that is this edition of Mocs News. Frankie Bolognani signing off with the Novec Project.
Thanks, Novec Project, for coming today. Be sure to check them out on Instagram at Novec Project. Well, Viral Spooky Painting Night took place this past Tuesday. The Office of Student Programs transformed the Chattanooga Room into an artist studio. Students were provided with thrifted paintings or blank canvases used to create spooky designs, seeing that the season is creeping up on us. Crystal Edenfield tells us how this idea came to be.
So for the past couple of weeks, I've been going around to thrift stores trying to collect different paintings, and then we also have blank canvases as well. I saw this idea on some reels on Instagram where it's starting to be trendy to make over regular paintings and make them spooky. So normally we have a painting event around this time of year, and so I thought this would be a great way to get inspired for the fall. Normally we get around 20-25 students that come to our painting events, but I know this generation of students, they're post-COVID, they're ready to come out and show out, and so we'll probably be doing another one like this probably before Halloween just because it was such a good turnout.
Upcoming events for student success include the annual October Boo and Gold event and First Gen Week in November.
It's time for weather.
Let's check in with our Lillian Simcox for this week's weather report. Lillian?
Roll down the windows this weekend. We're looking at mid-80s for today, tomorrow, and Sunday. The first day of fall is Saturday, so I know we're all excited about that. Mid next week, we should see a couple showers, but those temperatures will drop into the high 70s with sunshine again by Thursday. Out on the East Coast, a tropical storm looking to make landfall Saturday with some areas of seeing up to 9 inches in rain. But here in the Tennessee Valley, we shouldn't see any of it. Gabby and Kaylin, back to you guys.
Well, last Saturday, Mocs football blew Citadel out of the water.
Our Mocs gave us the second win for the second home game at Finley Stadium with a score of 48-3.
Key standouts en route to our victory include quarterback Chase Artopius throwing for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, and wide receiver Jamoy Mays with 116 yards and a touchdown on 6 receptions. The next Mocs football game will be tomorrow at Samford. The game can be seen at 4 p.m. on ESPN+. Sports washing, or using sports to cover up big scandals, has been on the increase, specifically in Saudi Arabia, where Prince Mohammed bin Salman says, well, if sports washing is going to increase my GDP by way of 1%, I will continue doing sports washing, via Fox News. Saudi Arabia has a history of sports washing, including using it to cover up human rights abuses, such as the killing of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi. They continue to do this with the signing of big international players such as Cristiano Ronaldo. Mocs News will keep you updated on the latest in this sports washing scandal next week. Do you remember the 21st night of September? The San Francisco 49ers sure do, as they took down the now 0-3 New York Giants en route to a 30-12 blowout win in Thursday Night Football. The Giants will look to recoup with a hopefully healthy Saquon Barkley next week on Monday Night Football versus Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks. In more NFL news, star players continue to go down with season-ending injuries as Cleveland's star running back Nick Chubb re-aggravated the same knee injury he suffered against UTK in his college days. It is unclear if Chubb will return even next year, as almost every ligament and tendon in his knee is either torn or partially torn. Other notable season-ending injuries include New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers and Cowboys cornerback Trayvon Diggs, both suffering from torn ACLs. Gabby and Kaylin, back to you.
That does it for this edition of Mocs News. Thank you for joining us, and don't forget to give us a follow on Instagram at Mocs News UTC.
We're also on Facebook and X. We'll be here for you next Friday.